Good morning. How's everyone doing? Just getting ready. Just have a few things still messing up for me. And of course, listening to some Guns N' Roses in the morning kind of feels good, doesn't it? All right, I'm almost done. All right, let's see. I'm going to swap over. There we go. I think that's it. I'm live. Yeah. As you can see, a few things have changed, or rather, it's a temporary thing. So instead of just throwing you on to this hand cam stuff, gonna kind of slowly introduce you to these ugly stuff going on down here. I'm just going with a black background. That's what I'm trying to say. And also, some of you may have noticed this thing going down up here is this weird thing. I got this hand cam arm, and then I got this thing, and I got the flex arm, I believe it's called, and tried various like positions on my desk. However, the best position turned out to be more or less in front of me. So I am kind of struggling with this. I do have my regular stuff, which is the mic. Nothing new there. Used to that thing, right? And I have, oh God, where to start? Of course, I have my coffee. I have my water can. But then I have a few magic stuff going on. Of course, I have the display. We'll look at that in a moment. But I also have these things. Let's see if I can show you at all. You got these. You know what? Let's show them on hand cam instead. But what that is, just to not throw like these orange colors in the face, that is sleeves, right? So they're there to protect the card. Just notice my commander, which is a full foiled card, is bent. I don't know why. Why would they distribute cards that bend on you? Weird. So this thing is in front of me and I can barely see. It's in front of my monitor, it's from my second monitor, it's everywhere. I feel so claustrophobic right now. But yeah, I think we can get by. The thing that annoys me the most, to be honest, is the fact that the webcam, this thing, you can't see it, but it's just in front of me, has a cable, which you hopefully also cannot see, that goes in front of my monitor and up next to my webcam. So here's my finger. Oh, sorry, you didn't have to see that, but my finger and thumb is just next to it. So yeah, what to do? What to do with it? Nothing. It is what it is. So that's just short of what I'm looking at myself. What's changed? Why you can see this thing. So what else is happening? I mentioned this. You can see it, hopefully. God, I've been having so many troubles lately, so I need to double check. Yeah, there you go. Lately. I am scuff. That's what I do. Feels like nothing. It feels like a stream. One of my streams can't have scuff. It's just not possible. The point is, I'm sidetracking, which is also nothing new. Yeah, so this stream, it is very different from what I used to do. Many of you who've been with me for a while, who've been regulars, God bless you, by the way. You're awesome. The point is, I have tried I'm focused on game dev. That's my thing. I also have tried games. You can see me play the Mr. Pandaria when that released, like the classic version. So I played that for like a few hours, maybe even more. Like I think it was 5 or 6 streams with a 12-hour stream. So it was more than the usual stuff. I played a few other games like Timberborn. I played Satisfactory. Love that game, by the way. So hopefully we can get back to that in the future. But I need to slow down. One thing I want to do for this year, 2026, is a bigger focus on game dev. That is actually the main reason I created this channel, to stream, to be transparent with game dev, right? And create a game or more, hopefully more than one game. But we'll see. We'll see. I'm quite ambitious when it comes to projects. I do tend to put too much into my basket, and it kind of overflows a bit, and I'm like, holy shit, what to do? But we'll see. I think that's nothing uncommon. I think most of us tend to just, I don't know, take on more than we can chew. So that's the third time. We are, as mentioned, we are opening magic cards, and we're talking game dev. Hopefully, I'll do my best because I might be distracted. Also, I am not someone who has memorized the encyclopedia of Magic the Gathering. So chances are, if you're in chat and you see me go through a card, there's more than a slight chance, quite high chance actually, that I'll just gloss by a card that might be worth more than I'm aware of, at least. And if that happens, please just give it a chat. Just add a shout into chat. Tell me that I'm blind or whatever, and I'll have another look, see if I can't find it. Because the end of the day, I do hope to get a few cards. I have a slight slideshow presentation early next that I want to show you. Spend some time preparing it, right? But that will be when we go to the hand cam. So, point is, I'll miss a few cards. Some cards I'm aware of, some cards I can kind of guess that they're worth a bit of cash. But if you see something, please let me know. Or if you want to go back to a specific card because you're interested in it, or if you want to know more about Magic, I can tell you at least some things. I'm not an expert. I will mess up a few rules, but I know enough that I can teach or at least inform people about most things. Although don't throw these terms like Magic the Gathering terms on me, not the ones that are inside rules like stack things like that. Yeah, I know those. But if you throw out a word for a specific meta, then no, I can't tell you. I have no idea. Should we do it? I'm showing my hands for free. You know that, right? It's not the feats, but it is my hands. So don't throw this around in it, then, right? I mean, it's not like there's a chance that a few tens or hundreds might see this thing. I don't know. Right. So first of all, we're not going to listen to the Game Girls right now. They're fun, but not now. Ooh, that's quite ominous, isn't it? For for the hand reveal, we're going to go with some Sabaton. That's so weird. All right, there it goes. It goes nothing. It's fine. We're fine. All right, here it is. This is the box, the display. This is the Crimson Vow. Lovely art, by the way. Some cool vampires. That's what we're going for. We're trying to get as much vampires as possible. Excuse me for 1 second. I noticed that I got a message. I need to check it. Did I show everyone online, like on stream? My phone, I did. I think I did. Damn. That sucks. Now I need to check. Okay. I don't know. I think we're fine. Yeah, I think we're fine. I didn't show anything important, but you did get to see some few of my apps. But I think that's fine. All right. So back to it. So Crimson Vow and vampires. I think the full name is Innistrad Crimson Vow. And I'm adding a bit of a accent to that one. Joined in holy unmatrimony. Or unholy matrimony, not unmatrimony. Which of course, love this box, by the way. Set boosters. I'm not called that anymore, are they? This is an older box. I've already, by the way, removed the plastic. Felt like that will be... Do you guys want to see me remove plastic? I don't think you do. So I just decided, you know what? Let's remove it. I'm also noticing, and we're going to fix that. Just give me a second. It should be... So I'm noticing that maybe this part sticks out just a little bit too much. I'm just going to crop in a bit. Might cut off some of my shoulder, but I think we can live with that, can't we? So what if I do this? Oh, it's not that one. Which one is it? It should be this one, right? No. Right. It is this one. I have so many nested scenes and everything. And it should be this. And then, there we go. I'm going to be sliding a bit. That's fine. We can slide me back a bit. There we go. That's better, right? Yeah. I think that's a lot better. So we're going to lock that. I'm going to go back to whatever scene I had. Let's just pick this one. All right. Should we open this thing? I can open this way if I want to make it a display. And let's try that out just for fun. Do that. We can launch it up. And then, come on, this is not going as smoothly as I hope. There you go. We can do that. I'm going to pick that like so. Perfect, right? It's almost like it's made for a shop or something. And then we got more cool art. What's this? These are really nice. Oh, a box topper. I think I've opened one of these before, but I can't remember. All right. That's stuck quite well to it. Is that part of it? I think that's the glue that's made a small stain. All right. Cool. I think I'll keep that one. Push to the side. So we got a box topper. I'm not sure what that means, to be honest. I've heard the term being thrown around a bit. Should we kind of look that up first? What does that mean? Let's see. Let's see. What does it say? So here's another problem with my setup, right? The arm is more or less... I mentioned earlier, it's in the way of the monitor. I mean, it's properly in the way. If I have to read, I have to do this. It's going to look so weird. All right. It's a special promotion card. Fair enough. Small pack. Includes free inside sealed Magic the Gathering box boosters to incentivize purchases. Oh, that's very commercialized. And this is how you read stuff. Like, oh god, it's so perfectly in line in a way. But whatever that is. They typically feature unique, high value alternate art. Oh, cool. So they're foil first place treatments. All right, fair enough. So the question is, should we open it straight away or should we wait? I'm going to say we're going to wait. I think they could be interesting to open later on. So we're going to move that to the side. And then we have all the boosters, right? Cool. Awesome. We're going to grab a few. Let's go with 5. Push this to the side. I have no desk space whatsoever. Let's try that. I usually don't watch unboxing streams or videos, so I'm not sure how this usually goes about, how it goes around, how this usually goes, and people do these things, but we'll just wing it. And I did mention we want to talk some game dev, right? And I guess what we can talk about is the process or the progress of the GDD I'm working on. And it's going quite well. Got some time over the weekend to is the correct term to say flesh out? How about revise and update and expand upon the GDD from all the sketches we've done in the previous two streams? And I also started to rename this series. It's not going to be a game devlog of a horror game, right? So I aim to have a number like indexed with values or numbers, so you can kind of go back. Oh, sorry, I had some coffee in my throat. Go back and just kind of watch in full. So I have a playlist and everything, but for now, the most important part is kind of get started. It's a slow process. The initial steps I have, like, so in my head, in this thing over here. Sorry, can I point this thing? There's a general idea of what I want to do, and I'm trying to put that into words, and it's not that easy. I mean, I think many of you probably experienced this before. Like, you can't really formulate your words. You know that what you're trying to say, what you're saying, doesn't sound the same as what you're thinking. Does that make sense? And it's kind of at that point right now. I have a certain vision in my mind, but in order to make it concrete, make it structured, I need it to be on paper. And there's more reasons to it than just me remembering what I'm trying to do or trying to make sure I'm on track, because you don't want to scope creep, right? So that's kind of where the GTD comes in. I want it to be the thing that keeps me from scope creeping and more. And also, should I in the future, which is highly likely, decide to bring people on to this project, I do want it to be well structured so they can read it and understand what I'm trying to do, or at least get close. I don't think no one's ever going to understand what's going on in my mind, so we'll see. I mean, that's the main point of a GTD, right? So, should we open the first one? So what's the chance? Oh, sorry. You know what we can do first? Okay, this is what we're going to, before we open this one, I've prepared this. I need to remember to use it, right? So, 1 second. You're going to see this thing going on back and forth here. But I have this thing. Please work. There we go. So this is a small presentation of what I think from research are the cards we mostly want, or the most sought after cards from this set. For me, it might be different cards. I want vampires because I want to combine it with my commander. We can have a look at him in just a second. So first, let's go through this. So, Vampire's Vengeance. 3 mana cost, an instant card, and it has the ability of Vampire's Vengeance deals 2 damage to each non-vampire creature. Create a blood token, which is really good for my commander. And the blood token is an artifact, which means that I can pay 1 mana and tap that blood token, or I think I have to discard it, right? Sorry. No. Oh. Wait, what does that mean again? Pay 1 mana, tap, discard a card, and sacrifice this card to draw a card, which is pretty good. But that's not the point. We don't want blood tokens for that. Stefan, the commander, has a different ability. So either way, Vampire's Vengeance, I think we can really hold. Let's make sure we get that one. Then we have Blood Vial Purveyor. I think that's how you say it. Creature, vampire. Oh, nice. Flying. A non-usual trait. for vampires, but it has trample. I haven't seen many cards, at least vampire cards, that has trample. And for those who are new to this, trample means that instead, if there's excess damage made to a creature, an opponent's creature that is blocking your attack. So the example will be this vampire has a attack power of 5. You can see it down in the right corner. It's a 5 in power and 6 in toughness. That's its defense. So if I attack and the thing that's trying to prevent my damage, another creature, has a 4 in defense or toughness, as it's called, then that means there's 1 point in excess. And trample allows that point to go through the defense and attack the player. So the player will lose a point, even if they blocked. Which usually means that if you can block something, usually that all the damage is negated, which is kind of a fun thing in Magic, because you can throw them the biggest creature you have, which can be pretty sizable if you can bind in certain cards. But you can throw a single 1/1, which is the lowest defense you can have, more or less. Yeah, no, it is the lowest defense you can have against the target, and that all damage will be blocked. So it's kind of funny. You can throw insects and rats against a dragon, and it's just like, yeah, it's fine. You're fine. It's kind of weird. Either way, Blood Viper, Flying Trample, whenever an opponent casts a spell, which happens all the time, every card played, I believe it's every card played except for lands, are spells. So it will really have a big effect. That play then creates a blood token, which means I can't, unfortunately, create blood tokens in this case, but my opponents can. And it's the same as before. But whenever Blood Viper attacks, it gets +1/0 for each blood token defending player controls. That is kind of interesting. Since spells are such a common thing, when it's my turn and I'm in an attack phase, if this creature has been on the card for a few rounds, or maybe even 1 round or 1 turn, then everyone or the player I'm attacking might have 3 or 4 of these blood tokens, which means my creature will have another 3 extra in attack. So it's kind of a big deal. Not like end game type of stuff, but it's pretty big. And then we have Henrika Domnathi, which is also, I believe, a transform card, right? She has 2 sides. We'll look at the other side right in a second. Legendary creature flying at the beginning of combat, your turn, choose one of these things that hasn't been picked yet. I added one of these things, but you have a list just below her that you can pick. So for let's say 3 turns and 3 attack phases, I have the ability to pick one of these options, which means after the 3rd one, this happens. She transforms. I believe that is true, at least. And that means she's now Henrika Infernal Seer, and she has a Flying Death Touch lifelink, which means if she touches a creature by blocking, that creature dies, no matter what its defense is. And the damage dealt by this creature then gets back to me, which means that if I attack and do damage to an opponent, I'll get 3 life, or the amount of damage I did back in life. It's pretty cool. And I can pay mana, which is an ability to give each creature you control Flying, Death Touch, and or Lifelink, and gets 1 +1/0 until end of turn. Pretty good. It's pretty good. It's pretty good. All right, next. Next is Zorin the Mirthless. Zorin the Mirthless. I think that's how you say it. Planeswalker. I have certain abilities. You have a certain resource you can see in the right corner. So this is not an attacking creature. This is more like abilities types. And it goes into various steps. So I can use the first ability to increase my resources, which is, again, done in the corner here. So if I use my first ability, which is look at the top card of your library and more, I can then increase 4 to 5 and so on. In the end, then I can use the other ones by paying that resource. So I can either create a 2/3 black vampire token with flying and lifelink, which is nice, or I can use Sorin's third ability. Sorin the Mirthless deals 13 damage to any target, and I gain 13 life, which kind of insane. So I can do the So I can do the first ability 3 times, so meaning 3 rounds. And then on the 4th round, I can pay the third ability and gain 13 life and deal damage to anyone else, which is pretty damn big. In Commander, which is the type of magic I play, you start with 40 life points. So 13, that's close to a third. Or it is pretty much a third of the total damage or life a player has from the beginning at least. You can have more, but initially you start with 40. All right, next. Cemetery Gatekeeper. Second. All right, so what about this guy? Again, vampire. We're all about the vampires here. First strike, which I believe means that if we're in a combat situation where I'm attacking, for example, it might be. I think it's also related to me blocking a combat or an attack. So if one of my creature, this creature, Cemetery Gatekeeper, and another creature from the opponent are in a fight, then I have the first strike, meaning I can kill it before it can even damage me, which means I survive, which is nice considering it has really low toughness. This one, it can die from pretty much anything, but that's not the important part. So when Cemetery Gatekeeper enters battlefield, exile the card from a graveyard, meaning I can pick my opponent's graveyard, which some opponents, or some card decks, whatever you want to call them, they play from their own graveyard. So they discard card and then use another card to, with some benefits, bring that card back into play from graveyard. And whenever a player plays a land or casts a spell, we mentioned lands earlier, which is really important because that is your resource, right? If it shares card type with the exiled card, Cemetery Gatekeeper deals 2 damage to that player. So what that means, let's say I have, I can't really think of a best example right now, but if I have dragons in my graveyard and for some reason I can bring those back. Okay, we'll talk about that in a second. We'll have some ads. I wonder what they're saying. It reminds me that some anime tropes, the way they're this old lady from the song. I'm talking about the song, by the way, just so you know. I don't know if that was implied or not. And the way she's saying that the metali thing reminds me of, what's the name of that Japanese cultural thing? You have these creatures, no, not creatures, people dressed in very exaggerated, is that proper way of explaining it, clothes. They have a very, not grim, that's not the proper word. But it's a face paint that's really exaggerated and over the top, and then they exaggerate everything. So I guess that's the thing. It's an exaggerated cultural thing. I'm probably butchering some. If there's anyone from Japan listening to this, I'm really sorry. I don't know much about it. I've seen it in animes. I've heard it in the song for a few things. So I don't know much about it. But maybe someone knows, and I'm just explaining an issue I have. Not with the cultural thing itself, just that I don't know what it is. That's my issue. I don't know what it is. All right. Twitch. We're done with a Twitch break. All right, so where were we? We were talking about, all right, so his abilities, right? Why this is important. I mentioned dragons. Dragons is not the best example, but we can use that to explain the way this ability works, why it's kind of cool. So if for some reason my opponent has exiled, sorry, discarded or positioned or placed cards into their graveyard, and it happens to be a dragon, I'll just say, hey, Gatekeeper comes in, that dragon, which is the type, the card type. I want you to, or sorry, maybe no, sorry, card type refers to creature, instance, and things like that. I think I might be mistaken right now. So I'm going to retract some of the statements. Shares a card type. I believe that has to do with, in this case, like creature, instant spells, enhancements, and things like that. So if I exile a creature card from their graveyard, then each time that the player plays a creature card, I deal 2 damage. I believe that. Let me double check. Magic and define card type. How about that? Well, let's see. A fundamental characteristic is located in card type line, middle of the card, defines its function rules and how it's played. There you go. Yeah. So my initial idea of it's being like the creature type is wrong. It's the card type. So if I say creature, hey, every creature you play is now a extra cost of 2 damage, if that makes sense. So that's a big deal in Magic, I believe. Again, I don't think any one of these cards are like the biggest deal. No, they're just a decent deal, right? So let's go to next. Then we got Edgar. I actually do have Edgar's like other card, which is more of a this is Edgar as a person. Or maybe this is like a stage, because this guy is also Edgar the same same individuals. Is weird. Point is, this is Edgar Charmed Groom. Love that name, by the way. Other vampires get 1/1. Nice, means more damage and more toughness, more defense. But when Edgar, Charmed Groom, dies, return it to the battlefield transformed under its owner's control. So this initial card doesn't have a lot. Really, it's not the toughest creature, like a 4/4. It's mid-tier. Cost, also I would say mid-tier, like 4 in cost. It's not the biggest thing. Or small. It's not cheap or expensive. And sure, adding to all my vampires, 1/1, love it, good. But if I flip it, now we have something else. Now it's turned into a legendary artifact. And at the beginning of my turn, that's the upkeep. Upkeep always starts at the beginning of my turn, or a player's turn, right? I will create 1/1 white and a black vampire creature token with lifelink and put a bloodline counter on Edgar Markov's coffin. So now I have what's often referred to 2 blockers. 1/1 creature tokens, as from my experience at least, are usually used to stop, prevent damage from other players. Because as I mentioned earlier, a 1/1 creature, the weakest of them all, can stop the biggest dragon or the biggest creature. So it's kind of weird in that way, but it also creates a nice challenge or tension in the game. So now that I have these 2 creatures or tokens, what then? Then if there are 3 or more bloodline counters on it, remove those counters and transform it. So after, believe, 3 rounds, not sure why it will be more than 3 rounds, I'll have, after 3 upkeeps, then I'll have my 3 bloodline counters. So I'll have to remove them and flip it back over to Edgar the Charmed Groom and start over again, which is nice. All right, next. And I think this might be the last one, or there might be one more. But Olivia Crimson Bride. Again, vampires. Flying and haste. Haste is nice. I think haste might be my favorite passive ability of a creature, because Magic has this thing where if you play a creature, when you summon a creature, as I say, is this thing, why is that back? Sorry. Why is that back? What I'm referring to is the fact that auto zoom is now back again. I'm turning that on and off constantly. Why is it back? Sorry, out of focus, I should say. So let's go with that. Now something might happen. Apply. Okay. Are we fine? Why is it so bright all of a sudden? God dang it. There we go. Hopefully we're fine now. Right, so haste. And we're going to talk more game dev in a second. I'm just so passionate about this game. Haste is this. So some sickness, as it's called. Once you summon a creature, it has some sickness, which means it cannot attack the first round. You need to have one full rotation until it's your turn again. Until then, you have some sickness on your creatures. You can't attack. But haste allows you to attack the very moment it is summoned, or on the same round that it's a turn. It's summoned in play. So that is nice, because that means that I don't have to worry. I can use abilities because there are abilities that are linked to attacks of a creature. I have my other commander, my favorite commander, which is a dragon, that each time I attack, I gain mana based on the amount of damage or amount of attack power I throw out, which then I can use to summon more creatures. So if I have on hand, let's say 2 creature cards, they're worth 9 in mana, and I attack with 2 other creatures, they then have an attack power of 10 or more, maybe 9 or more. Then I can, after my attack phase and everything, we're entering my second main phase, I can then play those creatures because now I have more mana. Because otherwise, usually mana is consumed and what's called tapped, which means I can't use them anymore until it's my turn again. And it's my upkeep, then you untap. So now you have mana back. But I can create mana using my commander, my dragon. So in this case, haste, really nice. I can deal damage the very first turn or use abilities. All right. So whenever Olivia Crimson Bride attacks, return target creature card from your graveyard, nice, to the battlefield tapped and attacking. And it gains when you don't control a legendary vampire, exile this creature. So it's a something of a double-edged sword. In many cards decks, the main thing you do is either discard, which means you put things into your graveyard and then you gain something from that, or you have abilities where you sacrifice creatures and you put that into graveyard, or whatever reason. There are quite a lot of ways to add cards to your graveyard, which means that this card, Olivia, allows me to play those cards again purely by attacking. Which means, so let's say I have only Olivia on my playmat, my board, but in my graveyard, I'm not sure why it's there, but it is there. I have my strongest vampire. I can then attack with Olivia, go through my graveyard, bring that creature in, attacking. So now all of a sudden I have 2 attackers from nowhere, where usually you would have to spend mana and things like that. In this case, hopefully I'm interpreting this card right, is that creature card from your graveyard to the battlefield attacks, return target creature. Yeah, exactly. Which is nice. It's just that extra little, hey, I can do the stuff. But here's the double-edged sword, or rather, there's two double-edged swords. Let's say a player uses an instant card, which can be played at any moment. And I'm attacking, they use their instant card to destroy Olivia, which was from initially my only creature. And as you can see in the name, or in the descriptive box in the middle, she's a legendary creature. And all my creatures from the graveyard exists until I no longer have legendary vampires on the playing field. So if Olivia is gone, because that will happen first, that instant card will happen before my attack. Therefore, the creature I wanted to bring in no longer can be brought in, but not only that, it will be exiled, which is different compared to being placed in the graveyard. So that's a downside. However, that might still be, hey, I don't have any other ways to use that creature that is in the graveyard. So this is the second best, or even a great alternative to playing cards that actually brings creature from graveyard. It's just one way of playing. There's a lot of ways of playing. This is one of them. So nice stuff. Those cards we hope to find, and yeah, we'll see what happens. So just double checking everything. Is everything fine? Yeah, looks fine. All right. I've been japping along quite long now. Holy shit, it's been 45 minutes already. All right, let's get to this. Let's get to this. Maybe we can find some inspirations in here for the horror game I'm making. All right. All right, so everyone, be nice. I've never done this before. Opening like this in front of people, never done it. So I'm not going to do that as well as the professionals, right? Move this to the side. All right, so let's see. I have this. I think, is this the, yeah, all right. So this is the back. And you can see. So there's a blood token we mentioned earlier. And on the other side, we have this. Make new friends. Sure. Make new friends. All right, so where should I put this? I mean, if you could see the amount of space I have on my computer right now, it's absolutely insane how little space I have. All right, I'm going to put that on the side. I have a ton of tokens, so I'm not worried about that one. Well, let's see. We have this. See if I can do this properly. And what are we looking at? We're looking at some kind of art, which is really cool. This is just collector's card, you can see. It's really bright. Maybe I should turn down the exposure a bit. I think we're fine. Cool. Cool stuff. Not the thing I'm looking for, but it's cool. And then you have the art. This is really cool. A swamp card, which is a black mana. Because this is with the land card I mentioned earlier. You can see it says basic land, swamp. Swamp is connected to the black theme. So yeah, it's really cool. Love it. Foil though, which is not my favorite. You can see how it shines. Foil cards, in my experience, tend to bend. Not sure why, but it happens. All right, so we can put that aside. Parish Blade Trainee. I don't think that is the card I'm interested in, but love the art. What else do we have? Adamant Will. Target creature gets 2/2 and gains indestructibility and end of turn. Not bad. Unfortunately, it's white. My vampire is black and red. Or mountain and swamp if you want. I'm more interested in those types of cards. Or red and green, which is my dragon card. But if you're interested in white, this might be a decent card. Not sure. What about the focus, by the way? Is it bad? Can I improve it? Let's try. Not sure if I can, but we'll give it a shot. That's worse. Maybe. All right. I think that's the best I can do. The camera is a 1920, so it's a high def, or it's not 4K or 2K, whatever you want to call it. So it's not the best, but it does what it needs to do, right? Well, what do we have? Next is Rural Recruit. Training. I'm not sure what that means. Whenever this creature attacks with another creature with greater power, put 1/1 counter on this creature. Okay. That's a fun thing. The ruler enters the battlefield. 3/1 green board creature token. Okay, so it gives us tokens. Awesome. Kind of like that. It's not the best, but hey. Oh, there we go. That's the same as that art. Retrieve. Return up to 1 target creature card and up to 1 target non-creature permanent card from your graveyard to your hand. Ooh, exile retrieve. Okay. That's pretty decent. I might have to look this one. I don't think it's worth a lot of money. And I'm not sure if I want to use this in my other card. Because, okay, so even if you're a commander, which I should mention, commanders define which spell types or color themes you can use. So that's kind of perfect to go into this. So this is my commander for the vampire stuff. So you can see up here it's black and red with 2 mana. So it's 4 mana cost, but I need to pay at least a red and black. Or that I need to combine whatever mana cost I do with the red and black. It can also be more reds, more blacks, but it needs to be at least these 2 plus 2 more. And that is the mana I can use. I can't use white, I can't use green, I can't use blue, I can use red and black because that is my commander. Hopefully I said that correctly. So the point is, I can't combine these 2 because you have green and then you have black and red. Can't combine it. But the other one, I can because that is red and green. So I can play either one of those or combined. There we go. All right. So next, Actually, I'm going to put this to the side because I'm going to do a Google search on that one in a second. Crawling infestation. Kind of hard to tell, but there's something like a cow skull. I'm not sure what those are. At the beginning of your upkeep, you may mill 2 cards, which is mill, which I believe is, you can actually read, you may put the 2 top cards of your library into your graveyard. You may, I don't have to, I may. Whenever one or more creature cards are put in the graveyard from anywhere during your turn, create 1/1 green insect creature token. Okay. This ability triggers only once each turn. Okay. So if I mill and it happens to be creatures, I can then create a token, but once. So if it's 2 creatures I mill, it doesn't really matter. I can only create 1. That's fair. Hookhand Mariner. Okay. Human werewolf. Werewolf often indicates you can flip it, and I do believe that is also an indication that it's a flip card. And that is probably also something that helps you with indicating that. Daybound. If play costs no spells on this turn, okay. But if we flip it, we have this card. Now we already seen the other card, but who cares, all right? Rip Hook. This one reminds me, what's the name of the so World of Warcraft players, help me out. So classic, back in classic, or back in vanilla, I should say, even classic, you had a creature, human, in the human forest, the starting area, which is called, what's it called? Is it not something on E? Everwood, ever? Why is it slipping? Either way, there's a creature that looks like this, an elite, kind of the biggest killer of newbies in World of Warcraft history. He later on became a dungeon boss. But what was his name? I want to say it's close to Rip Hook. Hook something. I might be wrong. Oh well. So yeah, so you can flip it. Can't be blocked. Nice. By creatures with power 2 or less. That's kind of nice, to be honest. It's kind of strong. Not a super card, but hey, it's kind of nice power to it. So fun. And then we have, Voldaren Epicure. Vampire. Here we go. When Voldaren Epicure enters the battlefield, it deals 1 damage to each opponent, and I can create a blood token. All right, so that gets back to Stefan. So he has an ability. It's kind of hard to tell through the shine. But I can, so at the beginning of my end step, which is the final phase a player can do it during their turn, I can create a blood token for each player who has lost life. Okay, so if I damage people through an attack or through a card's ability, it doesn't really matter if it's a lot or just 1. I can then create blood tokens for every opponent. So if I have 3 opponents, 3 damage, you get it, right? I get 3 tokens. Whenever Stefan attacks, you may sacrifice 2 blood tokens. If you do, you may put a vampire card from your hand onto the battlefield, tapped and attack it. It gains indestructible until the end of turn. So it's a free way. It's a very cheap way. If I have enough resources, if I have my tokens, I can use them to pay for any vampire in my hand. So it could be a vampire that costs 6, 7, 8, maybe more. I don't know if there's vampires with higher cost than 8, but I can throw them out onto the battlefield purely using 2 blood tokens, which I more or less can create a ton of. And this guy helps me create even more. So a cheap card, 1, costs 1. So I can kind of throw that as my first card. That's my first. Now I have, for hopefully on the first or second turn, a blow token, which is nice. I'm going to save that one. I'm going to use that. I'm going to add that into my deck at some point, or at least look at it. What else do we have? Well, then we have Gluttonous Guest. When the Gluttonous Guest enters the battlefield, create a blood token. We're back to blood tokens again. All right. Whenever you sacrifice the blood tokens, you gain a life. That is pretty cool. Again, remember, I use this guy constantly. As soon as I have more than 2 or more blood tokens, I'm going to use that ability, assuming, of course, I have something on my hand. But all right. This one goes to my pile of perhaps I would play it. All right. What else? Did see. Oh, what is this? Storm Carved Coast. Enters the battlefield tapped unless you control 2 or more other lands. You know what? This is, I believe this is called a dual land, if I'm not mistaken, which because it has the ability to give me 1 blue or 1 red. So there's more than 1 card type or mana type. This might be worth something. Usually when it says enters tapped, I kind of like, nah, no one's interested. But if you control 2 or more other lands, so if I play this on my 3rd turn, because the rule is you can only play unless you have a card that says no to that rule. The standard rule is you can only play 1 land card per turn. That is your mana, your money, if you want to. So if I have 2 on round 3, I can then play this guy. It doesn't enter tapped, which is sometimes the big cost or the downside with these cards, which means I can't use it that round. But now I can use it because I have 2 other cards. So now I have 3 mana. This might be actually worth a bit of money. Not a lot, but some. I'm going to see if I can't look that up. Hopeful Initiate. Training, remove, 1 counter. It is a foiled. You can kind of see the extra colors down here. I'm not sure if that is interesting at all. I don't think it is. So I'm going to put that in that pile. And we'll look these up in a second. That's fun. I think we could be good there. At least 1 card, I believe, is worth something. And I got 2 cards that I might put into my deck. Good start. All right, next. Next. Right. Also game dev, right? I should talk a little bit about game dev. So the thought I have for the horror game, I want to focus on more of what I call, or have started to call at least, grounded horror. And this might sound like I'm dunking on other horror games before me. That's not the case. I just don't know how to say that without doing that, or at least insinuating. No, absolutely not. I loved what I'm calling traditional horror, all of that stuff. And this is part of traditional, I guess. No, what I want to do is grounded horror to me is I don't want spectacles. I want subtlety. I want something that feels like if I imagine you go to a haunted house, like not a haunted house that's just made for being a haunted house, like a theme park or anything like that. More like you're entering an old house that looks abandoned, or you're in the forest. It's dark. You don't know what's around you, but you do know there's no vampires, there's no monsters, but there might be something around you. And I want to create an environment where the player feels like they don't know what's going on outside of their visual area, which is the only area that's lit, right? Or they enter rooms where things kind of change, but they're not sure if they did or not. I want the player to be their own antagonist in a way. Like they need to be I want them to create the horror, but there might not be horror. There's a few things I still need to like I need to define structure a bit better. I think that could be an interesting approach. It means less action. It means less warping of the environment, adding all the bloods, things, and everything. I don't know. It just means less of that. Oh, Operation. Hey, how you doing? Glad you can make it. I'm just yapping right now. And you know all about that, don't you? All right. You're a fellow yapper, aren't you? All right. Let's get into this. I'm only on, it's like an hour in, and I've opened 1 pack. I need to get better at that. All right, let's look at this. Do love this. Do you play Magic, by the way, Operation? I haven't played. I love this art. Colors are amazing. All right, put this to the side. And of course, themed swamp. You played once, but you forgot everything. Yeah, that sounds like magic. I play maybe 4 or 5 times a year. I only have my friends back home to play with. I'm far away from them. And every time I feel like, you know what, I need a reminder. Can you remind me how this thing works? But slowly but surely, it is sticking to me. So we got some new swamp. Love that. Wanderlight Spirit. No idea if this is worth anything or a good card. That's also something, right? I mentioned this to myself earlier, shaking the camera. I don't have enough knowledge about Magic to tell whether or not these cards are great or not. I don't know if they're worth any money, if I should be careful, put it in one of my sleeves. I have a ton of these sleeves things. And if it gets really expensive, if I find really good cards, I also have this plastic stuff. So hopefully we'll find something. But for now, I'm just going to kind of guess and hopefully find something. So a creature, it's decent, fun. Sanctify. To store target. Artifact or enchantment, you gain life. Typical white. No idea either. Better keep them all safe just in case. Exactly. I have 2 piles right now. This is, I'm pretty sure these are not worth the effort pile. These might be worth the effort pile. And I have this pile on the side, which is more like I'm interested in playing these cards with this guy. This is my commander. When you play the operation, do you remember which type of magic rules you were using? Because commander is really fun. You play often 4 against each other, and you have a commander that kind of sets the tone for your deck. And then you can add cards that enhances and has a synergy with that commander. And these two, although not super, like, super cards, they add what's called blood tokens, and this guy loves blood tokens. So I'm trying to find vampires that has something like that, because he needs blood tokens to activate his secondary ability, which allows me to, for very low price, bring in stronger vampires to hurt my opponents. So I like this guy. All right, so we got Sanctify. Fierce Retribution. Kind of cool. Again, white. I don't know what to do with white. Destroy target attacking creature. That's kind of badass. Flourishing Hunter. I'm pretty sure this is now Wordmouth. Flourishing Hunter enters the battlefield. You gain life equal to the greatest toughness among your other creatures. Well, okay, to be honest, that's not bad. Which means this guy, if he's the toughest, I'll gain 6 life. But it also costs 6 mana, which is on the higher end of things. So I can put that to the side. Laid to Rest. Ooh, look at these colors, by the way. I'm sure if that comes through. Maybe I should get an even higher resolution camera in the future. But this one is pretty cool. Yeah, I love it too. Whenever a human, that's no fun. It needs to be vampires or dragons. That's the thing I'm looking for. But if it dies, I can draw a card, which is, to be honest, pretty good. You control with 1/1 counter on it dies, you gain 2 life. All right, not too shabby. Soulblade Slinger. Pretty sure I've seen this card before. Yeah, not super interesting. Interesting art. We'll put that aside. There we go. We got a vampire. We got a vampire. Bloodsworn Squire. Right. What do you do? Your creature, mid-tier cost, mid-tier damage, toughness, can be transformed. That is interesting. What does that mean? Cost, discard a card. Love that. Bloodsworn Squire gains indestructible until end of turn. Okay, and tap. Then if there are 4 more creatures cards in your graveyard, transform Bloodsworn Squire. Damage effects that say destroy, don't... What? Damage effect that say destroy, don't destroy it. Is it too early in the morning? Because I don't get that. I mean, it's only like 7 a.m. in the morning. Oh, let's see what that means. Let's see what that means. All right. Confusing, right? But we get another, the Bloodsworn Knight. Power and toughness are each equal to the number of creature cards in your graveyard. Oh, okay. Which means it's a ramping card. I believe it's called. So the more creatures I have in my graveyard, the stronger this thing gets. All right. And it has the same discard ability. So mm, it's a rare. I don't think it's. I mean, it's kind of interesting. I don't think I will play it myself. It doesn't really synergize well with my commander. It is a interesting card. I'll add it to this pile. See if we can get some more information later on. All right, Lantern Bearer. Again, it can transform. It's a flying. That's kind of fun. And flying means, I'm trying to explain rules as I go, but flying means that you can't defend yourself against this creature unless your defender is also flyer or a flying creature, or you have an ability called reach, which imagine a archer that can shoot and hit targets that are flying, more or less something along those lines. But let's see what transform is. Lantern's Lift. Enhanced creature. Okay. It's enhancement, so it's permanent. Enhanced creature gets 1/1 and has flying. Okay, so I can make something into a flying creature. That's cool. If Lantern Lift will be put into the graveyard from anywhere, exile it instead. That's not fun. Do you get some kind of advantage against terrain when flying? Um, so I guess the advantage would be you don't get hurt by anything on the terrain. So you have two ways to look at creatures. There are more, but in this case, you have either flying or you have grounded, I guess the term is. Grounded creature can't hit flying, but flying can hit grounded and everything else. So flying is a big thing, usually. Oh. And vampires tend to be a lot of flyers, so I personally like to play it. I don't think this is super interesting. The flying part might be, but it's a transform. There are other cards that allows us to make a creature flying, and also not just one, but multiple. Falcon Wrath Celebrants. I have this card since before, but fun is create 2 blood tokens. That is fun. And Menace is also fun. I believe Menace is, if I remember correctly, Menace means that you have to. I think if it attacks, you have to have 2 blockers, meaning the opponent can't use 1 creature to block. It needs 2. I think that's Menace. I'm not sure though. Why does this art remind me of a visual K band? Perhaps. I have no idea. I'm not into visual K. I have no idea what they look like, but it is kind of that cosplay, Japanese, Korean style, isn't it? A lot of flamboyance and fancy colors. Is that a proper term? Fancy colors? I don't know. But that's fun. I think I have it, but just in case, I'm going to move it over to my, you know what? I might play a card file. 100%. There you go. How was the watch party yesterday? I've been trying to attend those parties, but it's usually late at night or like the day before I go streaming, and I usually go to bed early. Pretty chill, just hang out. Awesome. That's the best type, isn't it? Where you just hang out, you don't have to do anything, no worries, just watch a good movie. Dread Feast Demon. I do like demons. I was planning on making a demon focused deck at some point, but just don't know what to do with it. Flying again, pretty strong. At the beginning of your end step, okay, sacrifice a non-demon creature. If you do, create a token that's a copy of Dreadfest. Oh. Ooh, that is pretty interesting. Because I can create like an army of this guy. All right. Lots of talking over the movie, but it's a movie we all seen. Fair enough. At least that's something. It would be kind of annoying if everyone starts talking and you're watching a movie you've never seen before. But that's fun. Unhallowed Phalanx. A zombie. Again, back to this foil stuff. Foil can look nice. You can see the extra colors. But the thing is, and here's my commander. He's also foiled. But look at this. If I turn him to the side, I mean, for many, this is nothing that special. But look how crooked it's become. And that is what foil does to it. It kind of bends. I'm not sure why. Foil seems special. Foil can be definitely special. I mean, usually, compared this to a non-foil card, usually the foiled one is slightly more expensive because it's rare. It's a rare card. So, but this card right here is a common card. It's just a rare version of a very common card. So it's a common rare card, if that makes sense. Yeah, I don't know. And that's it for that pack. And I think we're going to do that. So we got a few fun cards. I'm not sure if we got anything that's... I'm not going to get out of my chair and jump if I put it like that. Oh, so it's just decorative, but not more powerful in gameplay. No, usually not. I would say no, that is probably the rule. It's not, it's just another version of a card. Oh, on that, by the way, where did I put it? Where did I put it? Did I throw it somewhere? Oh, it's right there in front of me. So this thing, apparently, I didn't know this, but this is a box topper, meaning that it's special to this set. So in here, there's probably something really rare. So who knows? Maybe something super special. We'll open that later on. For now, I kind of need to get through because, I mean, I'm on my third pack, and as you can see, we have a few more left. I didn't know it would take this long. I'm explaining everything as I go. And it's just, I'm just taking my time. It took like 45 minutes for me to open the first pack. So that's how much yapping I've done today. And also, another sidetrack. I got this thing. This is at the top. Look at this. I mean, say what you want about Magic as a game or the way Wizard of the Coast is handling right now. Look at this art. It's absolutely gorgeous. I think there's a backside, which is not as cool. And also the glue that this thing was stuck on this side has unfortunately given it a stain. But it's not the important part. This part is important. All right. It is pretty. I agree. All right, let's see. So, creature token. It's a token. Probably not going to be worth anything at all. Let's see. So that's the back side. So I'm just going to move this to the side. And let's flip it. Oh, we got some art again. Kind of from software, right? Some Elden Ring type. Reminds me of the, what's the name of the tree? Oh, we got some ads. All right, I'm just going to wait with this one. But what is the name of that tree? Is it the Erd ring or something? The Erd tree, is it? Erd thing. That's so dumb. But I think it's called the Erd tree. I might be mistaken. All right. While that is happening. God damn it. So many things on my desk. It's insane. Architect. Are you back to... God damn it. Config. What are the... Why is it constantly... I've told it not to do this many times. Why does it keep... Oh, does it keep doing this? This camera. There we go. Do I need to have this like open at all times? Actually, let's go to Scryfall. And let's see if we can't, while the ads are running. Yeah, it's a decent card. And what else? Oh, there we go. Back from the ads. Yeah, I was asking the tree, this art style reminded me of the tree in Elden Ring. And I'm also kind of quickly go through whether or not these cards are actually worth anything. So we're gonna have a look. Oh, there's more than one retrieve. There we go. All right. So all three were unfortunate duds. Apart from the land, it's kind of worth a few bucks, but not a lot. So unfortunate, nothing fancy going on there. And Operation or Ivy, if you're still there, does your camera, because I know you have a similar to this one or the exact same one, does it tend to enable auto focus and auto exposure all the time? Because this one does. I've turned it off in the Logitech hub, but it just keeps on enabling it again and again. Cool. Nice. Not sure? That's unfortunate. Oh well, it's fine. We'll deal with it. I can just go back and forth, disable it when needed, but it just goes back to it. It's just, don't know why. All right, another swamp, which I guess makes sense considering this is a black vampire focused themed deck. So we're just gonna put that aside. Got some pierce light. And now the exposure is back again. God damn it. I'm gonna have to have this open all the time. It's kind of hard to tell when it's a white card. Can I do that? That helps. Let's see. Let's also go to filter. Just gonna add a little bit of gamma, just slight touch. There we go. It's not perfect, but contrast seems better. Awesome. I think also the white cards tend to kind of blow up. Need to look at that at some point. All right, so piercing lights. Cool. I also start to see a theme in these boost packs that starts with white cards, then goes into different, then ends up with the vampires or something along those lines. Showing creatures can't attack or block. Ooh. All right, this is fun. This is fun. It took me a while to kind of get my head around these types of cards. So enchant creature. It doesn't have to be your creature. So if I enchant someone else's creature, telling it, hey, you can't attack and you can't block, which makes it almost useless, unless it has some ability, of course. But if you have a big creature on your side, and I'm like, no, you know what? I don't like that. So you can have this thing. Then all of a sudden, oh, well, now I can't deal 10 damage to you. No, exactly. That's why I'm playing this card. Unholy Officiant. Oh, that's actually a vampire, but it's a white card. I don't like that. Vigilance, which means it doesn't tap, so it can continuously be part of like the block and attack phase. Not necessarily attack stuff, but it can still be part of it, but not always. That made no sense. Put 1/1 counter on Unholy Efficient, and it's permanent, which means as long as I pay this, I can just make this guy stronger and stronger. Awesome. Traveling Minister. Again, slight FromSoft Elden Ring feel to it, isn't it? Is the focus out of... It's the focus out of focus. No, I think it's fine. Target creature 1/1 until end of turn. You gain 1 life. Oh, and that is tap, so I can do this like once every turn without paying mana. That's pretty badass, considering it's just cost 1. More white stuff. What is this? Griffwing Cavalry. All right. Attacks you may pay if you do target attack and creatures without flying gains flying until of turn. All right, we're back to flying. So again, if I have a lot of creatures that aren't flying and someone attack or blocks me, I can just, hey, you know what? I'm just gonna make them flying instead. Late rest. We've seen this card. Let's move that away. Why is it so many white cards? Kindly Ancestor. Lifelink, meaning dealt damage comes back to me as life points. Nice. Disturb. You may cast this card from your graveyard, transform its for its disturb cost. Okay, so if it's in my graveyard, I can pay this, and it will become, I'm just going to flip it around, this thing. And I thought of Aloy first. So that is just me. I do feel the focus is terrible. Can I fix that? Properties. Where are you? There you go. Can I make it better? I can. Okay. Enchanted creature has lifelink. Oh, okay, so it's enhancement. Okay, enchantment. I mean, Embrace would be put into graveyard from anywhere, exile instead. Oh, so it's gone. All right, got it. Gutter Skulker. Let's see, what is the other side of this card? Enchant again. Cannot be blocked as long as it's attacking alone. Okay. Put it into graveyard from anywhere, exile instead. Fair enough. Back to that type again. Oh, vampire. Cannot be blocked. I like that. Whenever you sacrifice one or more blow tokens. Ooh, that could be nice. Target creature cannot block this turn. This ability triggers only once each turn. Okay, so this is interesting because if I have this on my field together with my commander, and if I use my commander's ability to sacrifice blood tokens in order to bring in new vampires attacking and indestructible, meaning they can't be destroyed during that initial attack phase, then this guy also triggers and telling me, hey, I can make sure none of the blockers that my opponent is using, I believe that is what it's saying, right? Can't block this turn, meaning it can't help, it can't be part of the defense. So my attack all of a sudden becomes even stronger. I like that. I do like that. So let's put that aside and look at Hamlet Vanguard. Ward, whenever this creature becomes target of a spell ability an opponent controls, counter it unless that player pays 2. Okay, so it becomes a higher cost to target this creature. Okay. And there's one counters on it for each non-token humans. Okay, fair enough. Decent card. Oh, Olivia's Attendants. Foiled. Like foiled. Menace, whenever Olivia Attendants deals damage, create that many blood tokens. That sounds insane. Hello? Is that really true? Shiny. Yes, it is very shiny. That's some cool. I don't know. This sounds overpowered to me. Not like in insane way. I have not encountered a card so far that allows me to create more than 2 tokens at a time. This feels like it's too good to be true. Because I can technically, in theory, if you want to say, if you put it like that, create 6 tokens during an attack. If I deal 6 damage to a player using this card, I'll gain 6 blood tokens. That sounds insane. If true, so I'm definitely going to keep that one. You know, actually, we're going to do this. First of all, these cards turned out to be duds. I think this one was worth $4 or something like that. So how about we put that to the side? Let's check Olivia's Attendants. Yeah, nothing. People don't like this card apparently. So I don't know. I think it's might be a bit too. It's not part of the meta of Magic right now. So sometime in the past, it might have been worth more. But for me, it might be a very decent card. So I'm just going to keep it. Next. Honestly, have only opened 3 packs. I think I need to pick this up a bit, like speed up. And also, I'm meant to talk game design too. I mentioned this earlier. I got some refinements. I managed to refine the GTD I'm working on right now for a horror game. And the plan for now, at least as far as I can tell, what the game I want to create is what I call a grounded horror. Meaning I don't want the spectacles of all of the fancy effects and things like that. It's going to be more of imagine the feeling you have if you enter a old decrepit house with your friends or you go into the forest. Technically, nothing's going to happen to you. Like, the chances are very slim, and if it's something will happen, it's going to be quite realistic, like not supernatural stuff, right? But I want to inflict the paranoia in the player, thinking, well, what if this is a video game, so something might happen. What if something will happen? Will I'll be attacked by something? Did that doll move or something? But did it? I want them to feel like a paranoia and no more of these spectacles. I'm not saying it's bad. I just don't want it. Urban ruins makes for a great environment for horror. I agree, definitely. I haven't decided on. No, that's not true. I have decided on the environment, I believe, and I think the story will revolve around the idea of an old toy maker. Again, toys has been done before, but I think this is a unique twist to it, and that is this guy has been so obsessed with his art that he's now alone. He's like, I don't know, 50, 60, and he has no family. He's all by himself. And all of a sudden, that loneliness kind of hits. And you, as a player, will then enter this toy store where this man, from his obsession and mental instability, has now created a new world of horrors. That is the plan. We'll see how far can you take it, but I think it could be a nice, interesting environment. I think this is the backside. Yeah, it is. Tokens to the side. And let's see. Oh, hearts. Not sure what that reminds me of, but that is definitely a vampire with what looks like not a sword necessarily, but something sticking out from his heart. Yeah. It's bad in a good way. Exactly. Love it. One of my favorite horror movies series, and this is a Puppet Master series. Oh, maybe I should look at that. I need more inspiration. I am in a limbo right now. I love horror game as long as I'm not the one playing it. I don't like horror movies, which contradicts my love for horror games, I guess. But I don't like playing. I don't like watching movies. But I do love watching others play um, horror games. Limbo is great. Are you referring to the game Limbo, or because I'm in a state of limbo? I don't like that. But the game Limbo is amazing. All right, art to the side. We got a forest this time. Love that, and it's a shiny. Of course, it's a shiny. You mean the game, of course. Yeah, yeah. I haven't played Limbo yet. No, I have, but not on live. I played Inside live. Wasn't the most popular one of my streams, but I love the game. The ending to that game is insane. God damn. I think it's the same studio or creator, right? And Limbo came first, if I'm not mistaken. And then they made Inside, though I'm not sure. You think so? Yeah, all right. At least we're two that might believe that. All right. Pyre Spawn. Red, which means I can play it in both my decks, which is nice. Spawn dies, it deals 3 damage to any target. So the cost is a bit too high. Power and toughness are decent. The problem I have, or why it's interesting, is that I need to deal damage on my turn. I need to deal damage to people. And this could potentially be helpful, but it's such a rare occasion because the only time it will be happening is if someone attacks it using a card, then can destroy it. At that point, I can then, hey, I will also deal damage to you, but it needs to be on my turn, which is rare. It doesn't really happen. Or if I attack and someone's like, oh, well, I'm going to block, and my blocker is stronger than your toughness, therefore this creature dies, and then I can go to the argument saying, hey, I dealt damage, therefore I'm going to get my blow tokens. It's too situational. Exactly. I think it is. So I'm just going to move this to the side. Reckless Impulse. I think this is a cool card. At least I want to, somewhere in my mind says it's a cool card. Exile the top card of your library until the end of your next turn. You may play those cards. I've never understood these types of cards, to be honest. Sorry, you can't really see. I'm not sure how that works, if Y will be beneficial. But I've seen people play it before, so it might be interesting. I'm just going to move to the side, though. Ancestral Anger. Target creature gains trample. Trample is nice. Gets until the end of turn, and where X is 1 plus the number of cards named Ancestral Anger in your graveyard. That could be a problem in Commander, because I'm pretty sure you can only have 1 card of the same name. So we're going to put that to the side. Ooh, Honeymoon Hearse. Looks like a vampire theme thing, doesn't it? Trample. Love that. Tap 2 untap creatures. Honeymoon Hearse becomes an artifact creature until end of turn. Alright, so why is that interesting? Why is this good? Is there something on? No, not sure. I'm gonna say this is a dud. Or nothing I want to play. Okay, artifacts. Groom's Finery, is that how you pronounce it? Finery? Yeah. Creature gets 2+0. It gets an additional 0+2 and has death as long as equipment named Bride's Gown is attached to it. Okay, so it's a combo thing. So I need the Bride's Gown, but that would be cool because Death Touch is amazing. Kills things whether or not they are stronger or weaker than you. It's just going to kill it. Equipped to, all right, this is kind of decent. Assuming I can get hold of the Bride's Gown. I don't think this is that interesting by itself. So I'm going to put in my play pile, but it's going to be a maybe. What else? Oh, what else? Yeah, well, I got the Bride's Gown. Perfect. Same thing, exact same thing, just moved around a few words. All right, perfect. And I just realized the bastards. I can't play this. I can't. This is a black card. Works with my character, my vampire, but this is white. I can't play it. Move it to the side. Unfortunate. All right, what else? Move it upside down. Hookhand Mariner. Haven't we had him before? I think we have. Exactly. Ivy, you have played World of Warcraft to probably the same, if not more, than I have, which I played a lot. Can you remember the creature from World of Warcraft Vanilla, also in Classic, and it was in Burning Crusade? He became a dungeon boss for the prison in Stormwind. He was one of the noob killers. Elite. Looked like this guy. Or reminded me of this guy. What was his name? He's in the Elven Forest. Is that the name of the forest for humans, right? You started in Elven Forest? Or you're mostly playing Horde? Well, that's the decent choice. I agree with that. But maybe you've tried Loktarogar for the Horde. I was Orc. I played Orc. I loved Orc. But what was his name? I've been trying to figure that out. And he's a meme. Like, everyone knows of him. He's like a meme when it comes to World of Warcraft. And I feel like I have it on the tip of my tongue. I can't. It's been years. Yeah. I haven't thought of this guy in years too. I think it was when I was playing during COVID time. We were playing Classic. Yeah. Was it pirate theme? Oh, yeah. I mean, it's a prison in Stormwind, so yeah, I guess it was. No. You're thinking of the dungeon underneath the ground, the one in the Barrens. No, not in Barrens. Sorry, in. No, you're not. You're thinking of something else, where you end up killing the creature. A similar creature might be part of it though, but you're in like a cave, and in the end you're fighting a Nurgle. Or is it Nurgle? Why is everything just not coming to my mind? This is in Stormwind, and you have like a prison, so it's kind of forks into sides. So you go down a path, a straight path, where you have 3-4 rooms on the side, and then you come to a 3-pronged fork, So you can go to the left and go right, and then you go straight ahead where you have the final dungeon boss. But that is like in Burning Crusade or later. During Classic, like Absolute Vanilla, then this guy, not this particular guy, but the one I'm thinking of, he was in a small camp outside in the forest area. Either way, maybe he will come to me at some point. But who knows? For now, we can just leave him aside. He's not that much. He's not that interesting. He's just one of those guys, the NPCs that killed most noobs or players when Vanilla launched, because it was the first elite. Skulking Killer. Vampire Assassin. When Skulking Killer enters the battlefield, target creature opponent gets -2 and 2 until end of turn. If that opponent controls no other creature. Wait, what? Control until end of turn. If that opponent controls no other creature. Okay. Now I get it. Man. It's a vampire. I'm just gonna put in the my play pile, but I don't think I'm gonna play it. Oh, what is this? What is this? This is creepy. Blood-crazed socialite. Eyeballs, bloody fangs. All right. Menace. When blood-crazed socialite enters the battlefield, create a blood token. We want that. When a blood-crazed socialite attacks, you make sacrifice a blood token. If you do, it gets 2/2 until end of turn. Interesting. More interesting than the previous card, so I'm going to put that to the side. And what is this? Stensia? Yeah, Stensia Uprising. At the beginning of your end step, create 1/1 red human creature token. Then if you control exactly 13 permanents, you may sacrifice Stensia Uprising. When you do, it deals 7 damage to any target. That is fun. Not the best play, but it's a fun card. I'm going to put that to the side as a card. And lastly, wash away foiled counter target spells that, what is this, within brackets, that wasn't cast from its owner's hand. Oh, that's an interesting like limitation. So how would that work? So yeah, if there's something from a graveyard, I guess. So if I use a card to summon something from a graveyard, I can use this to counter that, but it's very specific. So, and it's blue. I don't play blue. So put that to the side. So yeah, so far we're doing decent. Got some cool cards. Nothing, not one of those cards that are like the big hit jackpots yet. So. But yeah, we'll deal with that eventually. We got quite a bit of boosters left, so. And also we got this big, hopefully, jackpot on the side. Oh, another blood token. Down there. Got the blood token, and we got more art. Oh, right. Oh, sorry. Feels like, what's her name from Overwatch? The Angel. If she was part of Magic. Cool. Love it. How about we put you right there for now? All right. Swamp, nothing new. Heron of Hope. Is that how you pronounce it? Heron, Heron, Heron. Sometimes the H in English is just gone. Or I should say American. You think so? All right. Heron. Doesn't sound right, but it might be. All right. Flying would gain life. You give me that much life plus 1 instead. All right. It's a white card. Nothing I'm too hyped up about. Heron Blessed Geist? Guys, is that this is turning out to be an English lesson for me. Guys, I think that's how you pronounce it. From graveyard, create blah blah. Yeah. Let's go with this. Nebelgast Beguiler. These are way fancy words. Like, how many times have you used the word geist or heron or beguiler before? It's big words. Sawblade, Slinger. We've seen this one before. So I'm going to move on. Resistance Squad. Enters the battlefield if you control another human, draw a card. That's a fun card. White again, though, so nothing I'm interested in. There we go. Human Werewolf. Lambholt. Raconteur. You cost... Oh, sorry. Almost had to cough. Whenever you cast a non-creature spell, Lambholt Raconteur deals 1 damage to each opponent. Hang on. Just give me a second. This might be interesting in the vampire, because I need to deal damage to people to get my blood tokens. And since this is a ability that triggers if I use spells that are non-creature, so instants, sorcery, enhance, enchantments, artifacts, you name it, quite a lot of cards. That said, I don't think my deck has that many in proportions to the number of creatures. I think the creature cards are a lot more. I need to check though. Does land cards work for this? Because I play a land card each turn, hopefully. So maybe that could be interesting. We'll look at it. We'll see what on the backside, because it has a backside. So whenever you cast a non-creature spell, it is 2 damage instead. Okay, so it's just ramping up power. How do I? Nightbound. If you play cost at least 2 spells during their own turn, it becomes day. Okay, so it's a ever-changing card. Interesting. I'm going to put that into my pile of my play. That pile is going to grow substantially, I can tell you that. Look at it. This is what we have so far after 5 boosts. It's like 7 cards. So, interesting. A lot of them are not going to be used. All right. Gluttonous Guest. I think we have that one before, so I'm going to put it in this pile. Unholy Efficient. White creature. We've had this guy before, I think. Either way, it is kind of Warhammer-esque, isn't it? It's just me, the colors, at least. Oh, he's too human to be Warhammer. How many cards can you bring to a game? So each deck in Commander is 100. That includes your Commander. So it's 99 cards with your Commander. So it's a lot more than the usual 60 cards for, I think it's called Modern and most other games. So yeah, it is. So the thing about Commander, it is probably my favorite way to play Magic, but each game, considering you're playing against 4 other players, usually takes somewhere between like 30 minutes to an hour or 2 hours or something like that. When we have Magic nights, back with my friends, we can play for like 6 to 8 hours, and we go through maybe 4 matches or something like that. It's kind of insane, but it's fun. Breathkeeper Seraph? This might be interesting. It's an angel. Have we had this before? I'm not sure. Time flies when you're having fun. It does. It really does. And when you get old. I've noticed as I'm growing older, day feels less. They feel shorter for some reason. It's not like I have more fun. It just feels shorter. Not sure what that phenomenon is, but hey. As long as I can do stuff, I guess I'm happy. Dies, you may return the battlefield under its owner's control at the beginning of your upkeep. Okay. You know, this might be interesting. Yeah, and life is too short. Yeah, it is. I'm going to put this into, let's have a look at it. It might be interesting. Ooh, we got a dual land. It's similar to one we had before. So, I was getting excited. Dual lands could be one of the most attractive cards in the game. Or in this case, it's mid-tier, I think. The previous one, the reason why it's mid-tier is usually a tapped would be knocked down to low tier. But because it's like one of these, hey, if you have other lands, this one doesn't enter tapped, which means it's used up the first round. So it's a mid tier. I'd say it's probably the same price range as this one. So I'm just going to add it to this pile, and yeah, it's something. But then we have this guy. Hang on. Have we had this before? Not sure. But again, we're back to the same thing I'm looking for. We deal damage. We have blood tokens. The upside with this one, well, let's first look at the downside. It's foiled, unfortunately. But the upside is that I don't have to have specific triggers, like very specific situational triggers to deal damage. It's on enter, let's deal damage. And it's to each opponent, meaning once this one enters, the first condition for this card has been fulfilled. So that is good. At least I can do that once. That's nice. So we're going to put that into the pile of might play. And that's 5 boosters. Let's do, grab another 5. And some water. I'm talking more than usually today, so I'm starting to feel it. Oh, and I should do this too. So it has happened in the past when I visited Ivy's stream. She's been very kind of doing a shout out, so I'm going to return that favor. And all right, camera, what are you doing? Why is it doing that? I just swapped software. Come on. Let's do that. And of course, how do you do this? Do you need to do like that? I've apparently never done this before. Like so? I don't think this is going to work. I'm going to make a mistake. I'm going to try it. Yes! I'm a genius. I know stuff. No, I highly recommend for anyone who hasn't been to Ivy's streams before, just go visit. She's an absolute peach. And she's playing games I usually rarely see people play, which is kind of fun. What was the last one you played, Ivy? It's also one of the things, I know you played, oh, I can't remember the name of it, but it's like this old, really fun mystery horror game. Oh, Frambo, right. Again, I'm unfortunately had to miss your streams more than I can join you because of time. But Frambo, yeah, there you go. All right, I need to fix this again. Why is it doing that? Oh, that's too much. Oh, goddamn. I think that is what we've had before. Let's see. Yeah, and focus, of course. I think we were at 40. Yeah, there we go. I need to make sure Logitech fixes that stupid thing. So what's next on the docket, Ivy? Any new fun games you were planning on, or is Frambo the one you're playing right now? Does the category need to be on Magic the Gathering? I mean, I could probably do that, but the main reason I'm doing software and gaming is it is actually mostly meant to be a gaming stream, me discussing game dev, but it's just kind of hard to do at the same time. So maybe I should swap it to category. Probably should. I'm pretty much going to be playing Resident Evil for the rest of the month. Oh, that's which one? Are you playing the older types or the older games or like a remake, or are you going for the newer ones like Village, or what's the other one? What's the latest? Is Village the latest one? No, it isn't, right? Maybe it is. I'm not really up to the never mind. I'm not really up to my Resident Evils. It was then the new ones coming up. Oh, Resident 9. Oh, have we seen? We had to have seen some trailers on Resident 9, right? I don't know. I don't fall that much. I understand why it's popular, why people play Resident Evil. I just personally can't see why I should play them, if that makes sense. I think it's a bit too much at some point. I mean, I don't think this is a spoiler, but in some of the games, you've seen people re um, generate hands and arms, right? So I don't know. It's not for everyone. I mean, that goes for all games, right? But yeah, that's probably a good way to summarize everything. So yeah, we got ads in like a minute. So during that time, we're just going to stretch. But until then, we can look at a few more cards. There's a lot of seminal game series that I never got into, but I can see the appeal. Exactly. And hopefully people can feel the same way about a lot of stuff, because not every game is for everyone. And I like that. It shouldn't be that every game is for everyone. It shouldn't be like that. Hopefully every game that gets its time in this spotlight, though. All right, we got this. We're back to that hearse we talked about earlier. So the artifact that can turn into a creature artifact. Fun things. All right. Forest card. I do love these. I think the contrast, or the black and white contrasting values, is really fun. I'm going to put that to this pile. Nature's Embrace. Okay, I can kind of like these types of cards. Enhance, enchant creature or land. Okay. As long as enchanted permanent is a creature, it gets 2/2 fair. Or if it's a land, it also had add 2 mana of any color. You know what? This is badass. I think this is really good. You're a fan of black and white, or personally, yeah, I love it. Have you seen? It was so I can't remember the name of the guy the artist. He used to be a oh god damn, what's the name of that universe? Batman universe. I can't remember, but he used to do a lot of ink drawings. I think it has an Asian name. Can't remember again. I used to love his stuff. Like his art style is really amazing. We're going to look at this. I think this could be worth a bit of money. Junji Ito. No, but I'm just going to quickly look that up. Maybe. Oh, we got ads. So I'm just going to walk around a bit. I'll be back in, I don't know, half a minute. All right. I need to press this button also. All right. It's kind of nice just stretching your legs. I do have another like 8 hours of sitting down because I have to work after this. Fun. So, and I'm ran out of coffee. Life juice. Let's also have a look at Nature's Embrace. All right, welcome back, Twitch. All right, so I just had a look. No, it's not Junji Ito, although he had some really cool stuff. Unfortunately, it wasn't that guy. Can't remember. Tried to find the artist, but his name didn't show up. And I also, while the last seconds of the ad, looked up this card. It's not something people want, but I'm kind of interesting because it is this thing down here is what I think most people refer to as ramping, which means that you can kind of pick up the amount of resources you have to use in order to play more cards. The downside is the cost. I might be able to equip this or enhance or enchant a land card on round 3 or maybe 4, depending on what type of land cards I have. So that's kind of late, but at that stage, meaning at turn 4 or 5, or maybe even 3, I will go from 3 mana to 5. But I can only use it at the earliest on the 4th one because I've already tapped all my other cards. The idea is that it is decent. So on round 4 or 5, I might have more mana than most others on the field. So there is a chance this card is good. So I'm going to move that to the side, but I'm going to move it to another pile, which is my dragon card pile, because the dragon card is different from this one. So it needs green. The only one can play green. So sheltering bogs. One needs to be bogs, right? And it's about a draw a card. Not bad. When enchanted creature gets 1/3. Oh. Do you know, that's going to be another card for... I like the idea because that deck plays dragons. Dragons are strong creatures. So if I can make them even stronger, that's good. And also, if I can early on, or as early as possible, get more cards on my hand, which means more possibilities. And I need a lot of cards in order to use to get the most out of my dragon's ability, which is attack gives me mana based on the attacking power I'm throwing at an opponent. It doesn't have to be damage. It's just how much am I attacking with. If it's 4, if it's 15, doesn't matter. All of that is converted into red-green mana, which is nice. Crushing Canopy. Now, that's pretty cool. Store target with flying, bit too specific. A decent card. Evolving Wilds. This is a fun card. Again, it's mid-tier at best, I think. It's something most people have in their deck, at least if we're talking beginning cards or beginning decks or mid-tier decks. It's kind of nice because you can sacrifice it in order to find a basic card. And basic land cards are something you really want early on. So I can throw it into the battlefield. I can sacrifice straight away in order to fetch. So it's a fetch land, you can call it. So it's a decent card. It's not super worth much because it's not rare. It's quite common. I think everyone who's bought boosters or the display has at least 1 or 2, maybe even 3, 4 of these. So it's a decent card. Fleeting Spirit. White. So again, not my type of thing. But looks cool. Like the art style. So why is it in a vampire themed deck that I have so many white cards? I guess clerics and vampires go hand in hand, I guess. Since if you have vampires, you need someone who fights the vampires. So clerics will be a decent choice, I guess, or holy stuff. So yeah, fun. Binding Geese. Have we had this before? No. It attacks target opponent, and it has transform. Let's see what that means. Okay. I think we'd seen something similar to this before. Smooth out to the side. Distracting Geese. Okay, I can see a theme in this one. I'm just going to flip it over. Oh, look at this. I like that. Nice use of colors and values. That's the thing. I'm not the best artist when it comes to values. I don't have most experience with it. But look at the way they've used values. If you tone this down to black and white, I think we could do that, honestly, just quickly. Just give me a second. So let's just desaturate this thing. So you can still feel that some of these values, especially these values up here, you can feel the intensity of it, right? Which is something you need to master as an artist. Sometimes I hear the argument, and I can kind of understand it, that values are more important than colors. Because you can kind of tell what's happening even though you don't see the colors. All right, let's see if I can bring this back to proper. Oh, that's really intense, isn't it? I think we're down at like 0.2 or something. There you go. So highly recommend if you're going to be if you want to improve your art, try and improve the values. Good eye for detail. Well, sometimes you kind of catch on to something. If you hear it enough times, eventually it will stick. And I've been told throughout the past 20 years, all of these types of details. Oh, that guy unholy efficient again. Efficient. Yeah. Mirror Hall Mimic. we're down to some D&D stuff and Mimic. All right, what's this? Mirror Mimic enters the battlefield as a copy of any creature on the battlefield. Now we're talking. Except it's a spirit in addition to its other types. Okay, fair. Wait, does that mean if I can copy... Imagine I'm playing against myself, and I'm having a blue commander. I play this card, and I'm like, you know what? That dragon that Pete has, I kind of like that dragon. I want to copy. Can I use this then? And of course, spirit, meaning every card that gives spirits an advantage will still affect my card. And it's transform. Okay, let's have a look. Well, it's transforming too. Does that still work when... wait, no, sorry, I need to look at something. When did it transform? Disturb. You may cast this card from your graveyard. Transform. Okay, so if it's dead, I can still get it back. Fair enough. Okay. And as a transform card, enchant creature, so it's an enchantment now. At the beginning of your upkeep, creature tokens, that's a copy of enchanted creature. Oh, God. Except it's a spirit edition. What is it? A token that's a copy of enhanced. Okay, so I can make a copy of the creature I have enhanced. Now we're really getting into some weird stuff. If Ghastly Mimicking would be put into gravity from anywhere, exiled instead. All right, fair enough. So I think this card, I'm gonna do a guess. This card is a decent value to it. So I'm gonna put that to the side. Actually, let's put it together with the Seraph. I haven't checked that one yet. All right. Because making a copy of another creature, that's insane. Because you're playing against three other commanders, and their commanders could be absolutely god tier. So you can get your own god tier together with your own commander. So you might have two god tier, and that's not an official term, by the way, but seems powerful. It could be in the right... like all the thing about commander is the fun part of it is that you have enough time to build up the power of your play. So you can really get into like some really advanced, crazy synergies. And if you're like fast in your thinking, you might be able to see, hey, that card over there together with this one, my card, if I can make a copy and they can be combined, I'm looking at something really powerful. So, yeah, could be fun. Soulblade Slinger, we've seen her before. But this time she's foiled. And this will be the token. What else? Let's see what's going on with this one. All right. Token, be gone. It's kind of fun art, by the way. And it's a zombie. Zombies can be fun. Maybe we'll do a zombie deck sometime in the future. Oh, what's this? That's definitely a slightly different art style on this one, isn't it? It feels more... The lines are a lot sharper than I'm seen in previous. Look at that face. It's kind of hard to tell. I'm not sure how to explain this art. I like it, but it's very different. It does, right? Like all the edges, they feel like they're more stylized than I'm used to. Ah, interesting. Oh, we got an island this time. It's kind of a bit messy. Like there's a lot of details going on this one. This kind of makes it busy as a card, but I do like it. Kind of like these are these Kraken like creature hands, or is there cliffs? I'm not sure. Looks like a creature. All right. Unhallowed Phalanx. Goes back to the Romans. And it's battlefield tapped. Why? Oh, it's a defense card. Oh, but it enters tapped. I don't like that. But if you want something that will, in the next turn, like be your defense card. Yeah. Like more traditional art, but that one looks more like digital. Yeah, exactly. That's a good observation. Yeah, the other ones are more traditional in their style. That one, this card right here, felt more like modern stylized or graphical. Yeah, that's a good point. I mean, this is an interesting card, I guess. Aim for the head. I love this one. Choose one. Okay. Exile target zombie or target opponent exiles 2 cards from their hand. Not my playstyle, but I can see it being fun to mess or troll with someone. Undying Malice. Until every turn, target creature gains. When this creature dies, return it to the battlefield tapped under its owner's control with a 1/1 counter on it. Oh, dude. I don't think it's going to be part of my normal like rotation, but I can see this being quite fun. So I'm going to add it to my pile. See what we can do with it. Wedding security. Oh, finally a vampire. Whenever wedding security attacks, you may sacrifice a blood token. If you do, put 1 counter on wedding security and draw a card. And draw a card. Okay, so this is upside. The thing about blood tokens is I can use it to draw cards, which is nice, but I have to sacrifice it. So it says this is what blood token does, right? I have to pay 1 mana. I have to tap. I believe I'll tap in this card. Sure how that actually honestly works. I need to look that up. But I'm going to have to discard a card from hand and sacrifice this artifact, then draw a card. So I can, if I have a bad card, I can use this, pay mana, and get a new card. Hopefully a better one, right? But when I do that, this one on the other hand, can I use this as an extra thing to that thing? Or do I need to sacrifice a new blood token for this specific ability? You see my point? Like, can I use the sacrifice a blood token to draw a card stuff, but that counts as sacrificing and this ability? If so, I can do my blood tokens all of a sudden does more, which could be nice. I'm going to save that. What else? Edgar's Awakening. Oh, we're back to Edgar. He's a returning figure. Return card creature from your graveyard to the battlefield. When you discard Edgar's Awakening, you may pay 1. When you do, return target creature's card from graveyard to your hand. So I can return 2 creatures for the sake of just 1 extra mana. That's going to be another might play. I like all of these cards, which is a decent pile now. Needs to be like looked at more proper, and I need to remember what I have in my actual deck. I haven't looked at it for like 2 months or something like that, so I can't really remember. Ooh, I love this one. Sanguine Statuette. Is that how you pronounce it? When Sanguine Statuette enters the battlefield, create a blood token. There we go. Whenever you sacrifice a blood token, this is a permanent effect, by the way. You may have Sanguine Statue become a 3/3 vampire artifact creature with haste until end of turn, meaning I get an extra attacker when I sacrifice a blood token. This one also synergizes, or maybe the other one didn't, but this one will synergize with my commanders. So yes, good card. Mischievous cat, guys. And now we got cats. The internet will go mild. There we go. Cute art. And whenever the cat deals combat damage to a player, draw a card. This is, again, I've mentioned this before. This is the weird part about Magic. You have zombies, you have dragons, you have ancient mysteries, you have Cthulhu-like creatures. And then you have a cat. This cat can deal damage to Cthulhu. It's kind of weird. You love this one? All right. I'll save it just for you then, Ivy. Let's see what the other side says, though. Cat-like curiosity. Whenever this creature deals combat damage to a player, draw a card. Sorry, I got... Wait. Oh, shit. I got a reminder on my phone about something tomorrow. I was like, wait, was that today? No. Kind of, we've seen this effect before. So this seems to be a theme throughout the entire set. All right, fine. I'm going to put this in this pile. This pile will be saved, so don't worry. Everything will be protected in the long run. Weaver of Blossoms. Okay. Add 1 mana of any color. Ooh, dude, that's not too bad. And it has a backside. So let's see what the backside is. Clad Werewolf. Add 2. All right, so this might be for my dragon deck. I'm hesitant though because it's a vampire. No, sorry, werewolf. However, because it also taps for mana, meaning I have a creature that can attack and I can tap it for mana. But the price, it might be a bit too expensive. It might be too expensive for what it gives me. That's the thing. So it's not expensive in the long run, but considering I need that mana early on, there are other cards that will give me similar effect, but for less cost. So, not sure. Not sure. Gluttonous Guest, we've seen you before. Ulvenwald Oddity, Trample Haste, Transform. So we can transform this guy. But look at that, 8/8. So this guy can be a big beast. He can become Ulvenwald Behemoth. So 8/8 Trample Haste. Not sure why does it need haste? Other creatures can get 1/1 have trample and haste. Oh. Ooh. Hello. The downside is the cost, though. 4 to get him to this state, another 7 to get him to this state. I don't think that is worth the cost. Interesting, though, because if I can get all my creatures to have trampled haste, which means every time I summon something, it will be able to attack on the first round, and all damage that the blockers couldn't prevent still goes through and damages the other player. So they can't really fully block unless they block everything. Interesting. Interesting. I'm just going to double check. That might be worth something. I don't think it is, but I'm just going to, just in case, I'm just going to put that there. Nature's Embrace. We've had this card before, but this one is foiled. I don't like foiled, but interesting. All right. I need to check something. I can do it on this side. All right. Don't have to stress on that point, so we can wait with it. Let's go for the next one. Did it? All right. I'm going to go nuts. I'm actually going to go insane with this thing. It did it again. And it's doing it when I swap to another software. So if I click like in my browser, all of a sudden it decides to automate everything. What is this? Logitech, what are you doing? I mean, the camera is decent and everything like that, but this is insane. Anything else you want to tell me? Yeah, you also increase the white balance. Of course it is. Oh, well, weird. Yeah. I mean, why? It's probably something I've done or haven't done yet. Is it like the usual? It's usually the user error and user error, but I can't see what I've done wrong. All right, next one. I'm gonna kind of pick up the pace a bit because I don't have all day to do this. I would love to have all day, but I don't. Treasure, fun stuff. I'm gonna move that to the side. And we got Lance's Lift again. Do we have something in the back? We do. Did they swap around the order? Because the tokens used to be on the background, on the back, right? Wait. Oh, it's a transform card. That makes sense. So we got another art card. I'm not sure what this is, to be honest. Oh, no, I can see it. That is some kind of mummy. So you have the face, head up here. You have the lantern. That's a cool card. Move that to the side. We got some islands. Bloody Betrayal. Wait, this could be... Yeah, to gain control of target creature until the end of turn. Untap that creature. It gains haste until the end of turn. Create a blood token. We're back to blood tokens. Might not play it, but it's blood token stuff, so I'm going to move it to the side. And I'm not even showing you all what this is. There we go. And it's back with the... Oh, god damn it. What now? One second. It's just blown up the white parts again. Values. There we go. All right, try this again. All right, so this guy on this side. Ceremonial Knife. I think I have this one. Equipped creature gets 1/1 and has when the creature deals combat damage, create a blood token. Yes. Again, blood tokens, always. Blood Servitor. I mean, is it unfocused? It feels like it's not focusing. I'm going to have this open so I can fix it on the fly. Yeah, I think that's the best I can do. All right. And the battlefield, create blood token. Downside with this card is the cost, and it's just one-time trigger, so it might not be that interesting in the long run. And it's not really, no, we'll see. It's in the pile. Blood Teeth Harvester. I definitely have this card because it was part of the pre-con that I bought the commander from, or the way I got this commander. So I do have this one. And I think I don't have it in my deck because of reasons I can't remember. So I'm just going to put this one right there. Blood Hypnotist. Can't block. Sacrifice one or more blood tokens. Target creature can't block this turn. This ability triggers only once. Okay, so we're back to something we had similar to before. This one's more interesting, though, so I'm going to move that to the pile. Blood Petal Celebrant. What the hell is this card? That art style is so weird. I love it, though, but it's weird. Blood Petal Celebrant has first strike, love that, as long as it's attacking. Okay, when Blood Petal Celebrant dies, create a blood token. That is kind of interesting. It's not powerful, but it is cheap. I'm not sure if I want to keep this one. First strike is interesting. Let's keep it to the add it to the pile. Wait, didn't we just get this guy? Yeah, we did. It's just a different art style. I might like this art more, so I'm just gonna add that to the pile. Unholy Efficient, we've had this guy before. And also Blood Craze Socialite, we've had this one before. Now we're looking at something. Dream Shackle Geist. Flying at the beginning of combat turn, choose one. Up to one. Up to, okay. Of combat, okay. Tap, so this is a recurrent. I don't have to worry about one of them. I can pick either one. It's like it's used up, right? That is since tap target creature, yeah. Okay, it doesn't untap during its control's next tap turn. That is insane. I hate that. I really hate that. I've had that played against me before. Because it means I can't use my, I can't talk, like imagine my dragon, right? Meaning that if someone tells me, hey, you can't use your dragon next turn and I can't attack, meaning I can't get mana, and yeah, it's a big deal. This is not going to get your game done, no, but it's going to keep me sane. And I've had this display, right? By the way, welcome Shrill, how you doing? I've had this display for quite some time now. And I thought, why not? Why not open it on stream so people can get into the nerdiness and the amazing world of Magic the Gathering? All right, this guy, I think that could be a bit of cash behind this one also. Love it. So I'm going to add it to this pile. And we're back to this guy. We've seen this person before. Unfortunately, it's shiny. Don't like shiny, but someone does. Nerds rule, they do. More than ever. We rule the world. Look at the internet. Look at YouTube. Look at Twitch. Only nerds, right? Well, almost only. But we rule. We have the world in our hands. Well, why, Shrill, do you play Magic? Because, this is the time, man. This is perfect. Let's see. I don't care anymore. The things will be on the floor by now. You want to play Commander on stream? Ooh, that could honestly be fun. I agree. And if we ever do, I'm going to show you what I'm going to play them. If we ever do that. Here we go. So first of all, this is the commander I'm focusing on right now. Stefan. So he uses a lot of blood tokens to kind of cheaply throw in more vampires. Fun card, right? So we'll be focused on getting those. But my favorite card, my favorite commander, is this guy. And it's not the most popular one, but I just like his abilities. This dragon, right? Cloth Unrivaled Ancients. Quite expensive. It's a dragon. Not too powerful, but look at this. Flying Haste, and whenever Cloth Unrivaled Ancient attacks, add X mana in any combination of colors where X is the total power of attacking creatures. So imagine me attacking with like 3 or 4, maybe 5 dragons. How much is that? That's like 20 in magic, right? Then I can just, hey, use all of that mana to pay for anything except for abilities. I can't use it on abilities, unfortunately. But I do have a lot of other interesting cards. Among them is one called Dragonstorm. And zombies. Never played against zombies, but I've been interested in making my own zombie deck, but I have no idea how to do it. So we'll see. You'll be going with zombies at least. All right. But Dragonstorm. So Dragonstorm is interesting. It has the ability called Storm. And in essence, what it means that for every spell I've played before that card, in this case would be Dragonstorm, I can play that Dragonstorm again. So I can make copies of Dragonstorm. And Dragons tells me to fetch dragons for free. So if I played like, now I'm going to go extreme, 5 spells and then Dragonstorm, that means I can make 6 copies of Dragonstorm. And I can fetch 6 dragons for less to nothing. You know, especially because it's already in a sleeve. Exactly. Not only in a sleeve, it's a sleeve in a sleeve. Because you have these things. These are thinner sleeves. Then you then put into this sleeve. And if you're really serious, if you want to go all the way, what you then do, is you put it into a plastic sleeve. So I have this card, Aragon the Uniter, in a small sleeve inside a slightly bigger sleeve inside a plastic sleeve. That's how you know I'm a nerd, right? And also, yes, dragons are the best. Exactly. Mind blown. Sleeve in the sleeve in a part sleeve. There you go. All right, let's see what we can get from this one. Got to keep them pristine. Yes, one of those cards. It's a lesser valued version of that. You know the card that Post Malone bought for $2 million American dollars? Do you know that card? It's called The One Ring, I believe, which is like there's only one copy of it. Nothing else. It says one copy of that ring. I have the lesser version of them, which is $70, but still $70 to $80 is still something, right? It's not the 2 million, but that's crazy. Yeah. I want to play because I want to bring back every creature in all graveyards under my control. They all become zombies addition to it. Oh, god damn you. I hate that. That would be so terrifying. Because you could probably wait, is it engrave in all graveyards? Okay, so you need to kill my creature first, but you probably have a card like a board wipe or something like that. Still a lot? Yeah, it is. I think so. This deck, which is all these in that nice sleeve. I love these boxes, by the way. I think it's like if you look into this, I think that is the 100 cards plus the commander. I think this one's worth somewhere between $400 to $450, the entire thing. So Magic has one downside, the biggest one at least, and it is that it's a expensive hobby. But Shrill, I might actually ban zombies if that is what you're going to do. You're not going to get my dragons. No, sir. All right, we got Swamp again. We got Bleed Dry. I think that's a new one. Oh, look at this. That is a kill. If that creature would die this turn, exile instead. It is slightly overkill to go negative 13/13, right? Yeah, so know this. I've spent way more money than I should on this. I mean, this display alone probably went for $150 to $160. maybe even more. I can't really do the math in my head. I usually do like 10 Swedish kroners per dollar. And I have 3 boxes, which I believe almost all are full, and they can hold up to a few hundred, maybe even 1,000 cards each. I probably have my entire collection is somewhere between 3,000 to 4,000 cards, probably. And of course, some of them are worth nothing. Then you have those that are worth everything from a few dollars up to tens of dollars. So yeah, bleed dry. It's interesting, but it's not my type. Gift of Fangs. What is this? Look at this. What is that? What kind of abstract? What am I looking at? There's a female, what looks like a female vampire. She's pouring something into the eyes of 2 other guys, and it's all perfectly symmetrical. That's insane. Enchant creature gets 2/2 as long as it's a vampire. Otherwise, it gets, oh, that's a double. Oh, and it's only 1. I like that. I'm going to add that to my pile. And then we have Grisly Ritual. Destroy target. Oh, wait, creature or planeswalker, and create 2 blood tokens. Again, I like that. Cost though, that's high. Not sure if I like that. You got a lot of magic cards. Other than zombies, what are your favorites? Like, if you had to like, which card you hold the highest? If that makes sense. I have Edgar. I have Cloth. I have the One Ring. Things like that. Which one is your favorite? Pointed discussion. You draw 2 cards, lose 2 life, then create a blood token. Okay. This one I like more. This one I like more because I can draw 2 cards and typical black, lose life, typical black. Ooh, Blood Rush. I think that's new to me. Let's have a look. Is that the name of the card or just the name of like the meta? Let's see. Is the name of the deck? Okay. Yeah, the meta, things like that, I'm not as in, I haven't really memorized the encyclopedia of Magic, so sometimes I can't really tell what people are talking about. And now I lost focus again. Have its return? It has returned because I just swapped over to a different browser or to a different software. God damn you. Can we stop this? It's insane. I think this is like the 6th time I'm doing this. Yeah, it's the name of the deck. I'll have to look that up. It sounds interesting. Okay, seen that before, I believe. Ollenbach Escort. Sacrifice. All right. Perforate. Yeah. It is. What's this? Fearful Village. All right, now this focus is out of sync again. I'm just going to have that window open all the time. Menace. Menace is always annoying and fun. And then we have Fearsome Werewolf. All right, interesting. Not sure if that is going to be something I personally interested in or if it's worth anything, but my Blood Rush deck can hit for 45 damage on the 4th turn. Dude, that's insane. What's the chance that you hit that combination though? Because I'm assuming it's not like you do it all the time. Creature, when you attack with exactly 2 creatures, transform. Okay, and what does that mean? 3/3 trample. Wait, what was the cost of this guy again? 3. Okay. Trample when the creature transforms into Deadly Dancer. This is add 2. All right, until end of turn. You don't lose mana steps. Blah, blah, blah. Pay Deadly Dancer and another creature get. All right. I mean, I'm not super impressed, but it is kind of interesting, isn't it? So I'll add that to the pile. And Bloodsworn Squire. I think we've had this one before. Because I look on this side, we have the Bloodsworn Knights. The art style might be slightly different, so I'm going to add this where to. Can I get to my... I'm going to add this to this pile. See what happens. Pretty high. I just have to wait for them to tap everything before I attack. Yeah. That might not happen, though. I don't know. Voice of the Blessed. When they regain life, counter voice, blah, blah, longer voice of the Blessed, 4 more. I have no idea if this is worth it or anything. And also, I'm starting to get kind of tired in my head, so I can't really think. But, you know what? Let's see if that could be worth something. That we've had before. Ooh. All right. Old style art. I like this. Only after you're attacked. Before you declare interceptors. Destroy any one attacking creature that isn't black. Hello. Hello. We also got ads in like at any moment right now. And during that time, I'm actually going to look this guy up. I think this guy could be worth something, right? No? That sounds pretty badass to me. And the cost isn't super high. I think it could be interesting. So I'm going to look that up. Go for it. Snack is important. Unfortunately, on YouTube side, you can get the quick news, and that is this is not worth anything at all, unfortunately. Okay. This one. All right, so we got this. The Voice of the Blessed had a few dollars on it. So it's real because it can only do it once. So if the block or use a spell to counter attack, it's pretty much game over for the deck. Oh, yeah. So it's one of those like double-edged swords. If it hits, it hits, and if it doesn't, yeah. I got another 15 seconds of ads. Then we'll get back to. I'm just gonna talk about these two and pull some more deck of cards. It's unfortunate that we haven't really seen any super expensive cards yet, but some fun ones. All right, welcome back, Twitch. There we go. There we go. So the news is these two cards. I looked them up. This one, according to the card market, is more or less useless. So, love the style though. But you know what? I'm gonna look at it. I'm gonna give it a think. So I'm gonna add it to that pile. This one had about $10 to it, or not even that. Sorry, $1 to $2. So I don't know. I'm just gonna add it to these cards, and we'll see what we do with them in the future. But all right, so this is what we're going to do. I'm gonna open this pack. This is the 10th one, and then we're gonna open the box topper, and hopefully there's something interesting in that one. I think I've opened a box topper once before. Contrary to my ignorance I had at the beginning of this stream. All right, this is a teaser. This art is of one of the cards we are mostly interested in. So let me just do a quick recap what we are looking at, what we want. So just going to go through this quickly, which is we want the Vampire's Vengeance. We're looking for Blood Vial Purveyor. We're also looking for the Henrika Domnathi, which is also a flip card to Henrika Infernal Seer. These are cool cards, mythical, of course. We need that. We want that. And there we go. Sorin the Mirthless. That is the art we just looked at. So we want that Planeswalker. If we can get it, that will be nice. Cemetery Gatekeeper, also mythic, which could be really nice. to have in my actual deck, to be honest. Edgar, of course, returning theme when it comes to vampires. I do have his card, can't remember what it's called, but it's one of the commanders I'm thinking of swapping over to. Might stop playing Stefan at some point. Depends on. I'm having fun, so I'm going to keep playing with him. And then you have Edgar's Markov's Coffin. And finally, Olivia Crimson Bride, not Blade, Bride. I'm really hoping for this one. I think this could be interesting thing to have, especially since I can kind of quickly get things back from the graveyard. Although synergy with Stefan might be lower, but who knows? I'm curious though. So yeah, that is a few of the cards we're mostly interested in, and we're teased with Soaring the Mirthless. And I'll see what happens. So we got Island card. We're going to end up in this part. And then we have Vampire's Kiss. Let's see what that is. Target player loses 2 life and you gain 2. Create 2 blood tokens. We like that. And if I could get this early on, that could be nice because it would kind of set me up quite nicely for Stefan when he comes in. Because he costs 4. Which means I can't pay for him at this stage. This one I can get out on the second turn, though. So I might have 2 tokens the moment I get out Stefan. So that could be nice. I think that could be a good addition. Blood Crazed Socialite. We've had Socialites before. Vampire Socialite enters the battlefield, create blood token. Fair enough. Crazed Blood Socialite attacks. You may sacrifice a token, and you get 2/2 until the turn. All right, so we have this question before, and I'm still curious. So when I attack, I believe it's on attack, right? Attacks, right. So if I attack with Stefan and the Blood Crazed Socialite, and I use my 2 blood tokens to sacrifice and get the secondary ability, does that count to this? Or do I need to sacrifice a 3rd blood token to get this ability also? I'm suspecting it is the latter, but it would be interesting to see if I can get some kind of extra synergy with Stefan. So we're going to add that. Voldaren Epicure. Enters the battlefield, deals damage to each opponent. We've seen this before, I believe. Just in case, I'm going to add it to this part. Well, I think we've seen it before. Markov Waltzer. Okay. Flying Haze at the beginning of combat on your turn. Up to 2 target creatures you control. Each get until end of turn. Vampire, of course, I like that. Unfortunately, it's a red and white. I'm black and red. So that is unfortunate. I'm going to add you to this pile. Let's see what happens. Marco Purifier, all right. Lifelink at the beginning of your end step. If you gain life this turn, you may pay 2. If you do, draw a card. All right. Decent. Not my playstyle, but seems fun. I make crazy combo attack decks. I see combos and build decks off of it. Then I find out I have more combos that I did not see when I made the deck. There you go. I mean, that is the fun part about Commander, in my viewport, that you can do all those combos to like do something crazy. So in my dragon deck, it's not necessarily a combo, but apart from the Dragon Storm card, you also have a card that makes all my dragons free. Like, I don't even have to pay something like extra spells. It's just, everything's free. And if I have that together with the Dragon Storm and all of these things, then I could technically do a combo where you have free dragons and you throw out a ton of them. But yeah, combos is the fun part about Commander. It should not almost be called, I can't say commandos. No, it should be more focused on the combo aspect of the game. I think we've seen this guy before. Yeah. I had all dragons. I lost one during a move. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. Dude, and dragons are so expensive too. God damn, I'm sorry to hear that. This one we've seen before. Has the focus changed again? There you go. What was the main dragon in that one? Do you remember? Belligerent Guest. Have we seen this before? Trample. Whenever brings these combat damage to player, create a blow token. Not sure. I think we have, but in a different art style. Oh, what is this? Blood Teeth Harvester. I am pretty sure we've seen this in a different art style. But just in case, I'm going to add it to my pile. Just in case. Wait. I think this is one of the cards I might not have added to my little presentation. I have a gut feeling that this might be a card we want to keep track of. This guy we've seen before. And what is this? Noxious Ghoul. Whenever Noxious Ghoul or another zombie, shrill zombies, are you paying attention? Comes into play, all non-zombie creatures get -1/1 until end of turn. Hello? Wait, is that stackable? Does that stack? Like, no, it's another girl. Wait, whenever a ghoul or another creature comes into play, sorry. But yeah, no, it should stack, right? But if I can play like a combination of, let's say I throw out 5 zombies at once. Is that stacking then? It does, right? That is insane. That could be super fun. Yeah, it does stack. Damn. Is it a good card then, Shrill? Would you say this is a good zombie card or like a mid-tier or even maybe it's low tier? I don't know. I love the art style though. Kind of reminds me of a, I don't know, He-Man style, but of course with less of the high fantasy fun stuff. How about we have a look at that one? I think this could be interesting. But this guy, I suspect this guy is a lot of fun. Let's just have a look. No, it wasn't the card I'm thinking of. This is not worth nothing. I'm pretty sure there is a wolf card from this that's worth nothing. It's not great due to the cost. Oh, yeah. A 5. That's quite high for... Yeah, and is zombie decks usually like hard to keep ramp or do landfalls on? Like the mana is kind of hard to get going. Usually because you don't need too much mana since zombies are usually quite cheap, right? I'm going to keep it in this pile because when we look it up, but this guy, unfortunately, wasn't the card I was expecting. And then we're going to put this to the side. Look at this, though. These are cards I'm like, yeah, let's have a look, see if they work with the deck. Like 90% of these are not going to be part of the deck, but just in case, you never know. Always fun to have like small bunch to look at later on. All right, so I'm going to put this away. And we're almost done with the stream today. Unfortunately, time flies. I'm going to have a look at this. I have no idea. How many cards is there? Is there 1? Maybe 2? No, it's just a single card, I think. Oh, wait. Is it all creatures? Wasn't it opponent's creatures? No, it's... So wait, you play the card, you probably can't cast other zombies, so it's going to be killed before you can pull it off. Are you referring to people who probably kill it before anything else? Because it's non-zombie, so I'm assuming it doesn't hurt itself. But others will probably go like, no, that's not going to happen. Yeah, that might happen. At least I would try. I would hate to see that happen if someone's like, oh, let's throw out 10 zombies. Nope, you're not going to do that. All right. Box topper. It will be killed before next turn. Yep. So what do I hope for in this one? I mean, one of the from the pack or the presentation would be great, right? make sure I don't look at it. I'm trying to open it in a way that doesn't reveal anything. All right. Oh, this is so precaution. Oh God, I hate this. Nope. It flew out. There we go. All right. So far we haven't really hit any jackpots. And it's already bent. So it's most likely a foiled card. I don't like that. All right. Let's see. Moment of truth. Pop. Who the hell is that? This is legendary foiled, so of course it's bent out of shape. First strike, non-creature spells cost 1 more to cast. Wait. Do I like that or not? I don't think I like that. Why would I like that? I mean, it also affects me, right? Because all of a sudden I have to pay more too. No? I don't know if this is a jackpot or not. I was about to say, it's not really a jackpot according to card markets. This is like a $1, $2 card. So it goes with the pile up here, but still. And again, anyone else, they just don't like this. Look at this. No one's ever touched this card like until I did. And look at it. Foiled stuff. All right, we have time for one more booster. Oh, she's a counter to blue-red decks. And if she goes into full creature... Oh, of course, if you go full creature, fair enough. Oh, yeah. I can see that being a thing. All right. Though not a lot of people on the card market like the idea of that card, so apparently it's not the most popular meta at this point. Maybe it once was. All right, last deck. Oh, booster. Let's see. So let's start with the art. And we got some really nice colors on this one. It's a bit more saturated on stream than in real life, but that's pretty badass. So let's move that away. Mountain. We haven't had one yet. That's nice. Love that art style. The black and whites really works well. Nice contrast. And then we got Eswald Shieldbash. We got the full art, like from one of these collectors thing earlier. We thought it was quite stylized art style. Really hard to tell on this one, but there you go. Shieldbash attacks. You may pay 1. If you do, it gains indestructible until end of turn. Oh. That's a pretty decent card. Alchemist Retrieval. What is that? Cleave, return target non-land permanent you control to its owner's hand. Okay. Not sure what to do with that, but sounds interesting. Flying, whenever you cast a non-creature spell, look at that top card of your library. Look at the top card. You may put that card into your graveyard. Okay. It's something. Syncopate. All right. Counter spell unless its controller pays X. What is X? If that spell is countered this way, exile it instead of putting it. Okay, so if I say, hey, X plus 10, you have to pay 10 to actually play that card. Fair enough. And if it doesn't play exile instead of, okay. Typical blue, I feel. Serpentine Ambush. Until on turn, target creature becomes a blue serpent. Okay, with base power and toughness 5/5. Okay. I don't know. Not a blue player, so I don't know. We've seen this one before. Oh, that's a new one. Sigardian Paladin. As long as you put 1 or more 1/1 counters on a creature this turn, Sigardian Paladin has trample and lifelink. I don't know. Maybe something people are interested in. We're looking at Hook Hand. We've seen you before. Drog Skull Infantry, I believe we've seen this guy before. By invitation only. So choose a number between 0 and 13. Each player sacrifices that many creatures. I hate that. I really do. I really do. But I feel like that is a decent board wipe. But I would hate if this comes up on the table. I can see if someone has 0 on their side and they play this. I can see that the values are back to terrible again, but that could be fun if you have 0 on your side. Between 0. Why would you pick 0, by the way? Is there a reason you would pick 0? Is there a combination of cards you can use to gain something from that? Probably. All right, next. Supernatural Rescue. This spell has flash as long as you control a spirit. All right. Next. Bleak Coven Vampires. Okay. Metalcraft. When Bleak Coven Vampires enter the battlefield, if you control 3 or more artifacts, target player loses 4 life and you gain 4 life. Oh. Fun. Expensive, but fun. All right, I'm going to put that in the maybe pile. All right. So let's summarize a bit. Not necessarily the game stuff or the magic stuff, because, I mean, it's not much to say, and I've been talking magic all day, all this entire stream. No. Say you have 9 creatures, you pick number 8 so you can keep 1. Yeah, okay, so if I do that, okay. Because I can pick which creatures I sacrifice also, right? Interesting. But either way, we are in the last minute here. So this is a one-off thing. Unless by popular demand, I'm not going to do a magic card stream in quite some time, if ever. We'll see. But this is also an opportunity for me to just talk about game dev a bit. It became a magic stream, but I'm also done at least some game dev stuff, right? And so the next stream will be back to horror game dev. And I'm hopefully going to have a more refined GDD by then. I've worked on it during the weekend, and I came to the conclusion I want to do a themed horror around a toy store. I know if you mentioned that it's been done before, and I agree. Toy stores have been done numerous of times, but I think I can do something interesting with it. And also, I want the lore or the setting, apart from the toy theme, I'm also thinking that we want a recluse artist, toy maker, who has gone crazy. But the horror you'll experience throughout the game will not be the, I'm going to call it spectacular horror. You're not going to see warping of rooms, doors, ghosts, supernatural stuff. It's more going to be an attempt to put the player in a situation where they scare themselves through sheer imagination. So a more creative player, more player who daydreams or scare themselves, will have a lot more fun with this game than someone who kind of likes the action or maybe more Resident Evil stuff would not fit this game as much, if that makes sense. Hopefully it does. Either way, I think that's it. So I'm going to move this around a bit. Just double check. It's done in a toy store as a background, but not too many uses the toy in the toy store. So yeah, exactly. That's kind of what I'm trying to think that I can do more with, is to kind of not necessarily have the toys come alive, but subtly move them around a bit, maybe, or change something with them, having the player kind of question whether or not they actually saw something. Growing sense of dread, psychological, or exactly. Though we'll see how much I can do on the psychological horror part. It's not my forte. I'm not really super experienced with that part. We'll see. We'll see. Either way, this was a hell of a lot of fun, and hopefully we can do it again. We'll see. Turn their heads to follow, as long as the follow thing isn't too obvious. Like mannequins that move, chase you when you look away. Kind of like that. But I don't want them to all of a sudden stand on the floor like, wait, where did you come from? It's more like, wait, weren't they on that side of the room? Or did you get my feeling? It's more like you get paranoid. But I don't want it to be super obvious. It might have to be because as players, including myself, we tend to miss stuff when we play. We look in this direction or the top left when the game dev wanted us to look to the right. Very common thing. So that might be the biggest challenge with this idea. We'll see. But the idea is subtle, not spectacular, and more grounded rather than supernatural, if that makes sense. All right. I have 3 minutes until I need to actually get to work. So I need to kind of cut this short. Okay, one more. It could be effective if you are looking for a key item and suddenly it's not where you left it. That could be interesting. Absolutely. That is something I'm going to write down. That could be an event in the game, definitely. And thank you for being here and joining me almost the entire stream. I love that. Having someone to talk to and nerd out with is a lot of fun. And of course, Shrill, it's a absolute blast having you here. And anyone else who has joined us, but just lurking, thank you for lurking. You are one of the core pillars of streaming, so I really appreciate that. And that's it. I really need to go. So thank you all, and I'm just going to end it. We're not going to pass you all along to someone else. Not today, unfortunately. Maybe next time. All right, everyone. Thank you all. Bye-bye.